Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7 p.m. on LA56.
Get ready for rain, cold, even hail. We're on storm track. Live Megadoppler 7000 HD is tracking an incoming spring storm.
Protesters demand a complete investigation into the police shooting of an unarmed homeless man. This as we learn new information about what happened in the minutes leading up to the deadly confrontation.
Wildomar man is arrested for trying to shake down local businesses, accused of collecting over $140,000 in payoffs. Good evening, I'm Ellen Leva in for Colleen Sullivan.
And I'm David Ono. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. And we have live storm track team coverage of the incoming rain. Alex Michelson is live in Santa Clarita, already seeing some drizzle out there. We begin with meteorologist Jonathan Novak, live Megadoppler 7000 HD. Jonathan?
David, folks, yeah, the showers, a couple of small storms, and some snow already showing up in that live Megadoppler 7000 HD. Let's get to it. Just north of Santa Barbara, you see already some snow in the mountains there. And sandwiched right in between is Frazier Park, and just to the east of Frazier Park, some more snow and some showers that extend down to Canyon Country. Then we move off to the east of that, and a couple of small cells. Here's some echoes showing up north of Glendora. When we talk about storm potential here the next 24 hours, so we're going to potentially see them in the mountains, the foothills, and drifting away. So we'll have to watch out for some of the burn areas. If any problems occur, it would be right around there where we might see some storms continue to fire up. Lake Elsinore, a little bit of light rain for you as well. Now, Big Bear, not much at the moment, but it looks like as we head into the next 24 hours, some snow for you. In fact, we have already had some snow showing up here, Angeles National Forest, some light stuff. How about that? It is May, and we are looking at this type of weather. It's incredible, and we got about a day of it, maybe a little less than that. I'll detail the timeline for you. Could be a wet commute, it looks like, at least for tomorrow, coming up in that full 7-day forecast.
All right, Jonathan, thank you.
You're welcome.
And rain's on the way, of course, but the wind and cold is already being felt across most of Southern California. And Eyewitness News reporter Alex Michelson is live tonight in Santa Clarita, where folks are bracing for some spring showers. Alex?
Ellen, we've already seen some light drizzle here. It is cold, it is gray, and as my photographer pulls out, you can see why that matters so much. You can see just how parched the land here is in the midst of California's record drought, which is why pictures like these are such good news. This is a viewer video sent in to us from the Palmdale area. You can see that rain has already started to fall pretty hard there. Winds could hit 45 miles per hour in the Antelope Valley tonight. Let's take a look at some video from right here in Santa Clarita. Only light showers so far, but we've seen a lot of wind. People are definitely bundled up, and people are happy about the rain.
We really need it. I wish it would rain at least once a week.
Or more.
Or more, yeah. 2 or 3 times a week would be great with me. Then I wouldn't have to worry about my lawns.
Hard rain. We need a lot of rain. You know, these basins over here need to be filled up.
And not only are we seeing rain, we're seeing hail. These pictures provided by ABC7 Eyewitnesses. We've seen hail in Green Valley, in Rosamond, in the Lake Hughes area. One of our viewers saying that it's like a winter wonderland in front of her house. So that is good news as well. If we come back out here live, you can see those very ominous, very gray clouds here in Santa Clarita. It's begun to rain a little bit harder even the time that we've been talking to you, and everybody seems to be pretty happy about the idea of winter in May. Reporting live from Santa Clarita, Alex Michelson, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, pretty nice, Alex. Thank you. Remember, you can track the storm on your mobile device with the free ABC7 Megadoppler weather app, available from iTunes App Store, Amazon, and Google Play. Just search Megadoppler.
Clearly a story that's growing here. Tensions are running high in Venice as more than 100 people gathered in response to the deadly police shooting of an unarmed homeless man. Activists are calling for a vigorous investigation. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand is live in Venice with the latest. Jory?
Yeah, we're here at Westminster Elementary School where they're holding a town hall right now, and the crowd is actually coming out the door. It is so packed right now. It is a tense crowd. We've got some video from just moments ago from inside. Councilmember Mike Bonin took to the podium to really strong boos. Police Commission President Steve Soboroff is here as well. Really, the introductory comments were interrupted by so many interruptions from the crowd that they just basically went right to the questions and comments portion, and there are a lot of hurt and angry people in this crowd, and we will bring you more of what they had later on tonight. But this all stems from the shooting death from earlier this week of a homeless, unarmed man here in Venice. And there are basically two camps right now. There's the public who's very upset at the police for another killing of an unarmed unarmed man. This time it happened to be a homeless man. But you also have a battle going on right now between the police union and LAPD Chief Charlie Beck. Yesterday, Beck came out saying that he looked at the video of that shooting and determined that it looked like, at this point, early in the investigation, it was not a warranted use of force. Then you have the union coming out and saying it is way too early to get started and making opinions on this matter when the investigation hasn't even begun, when the officer involved hasn't even been interviewed. But there is that video out there, that surveillance video from a restaurant just across the street from where this took place, and Eyewitness News has learned the details of that video. In it, it appears the two officers on the scene take the suspect to the ground. It also appears the suspect is in their control. The video then shows an officer drawing a gun, then appears to show the second officer backing off while he realizes his partner has drawn his weapon, and then 2 shots are fired. The suspect later died, and Eyewitness News has learned that the suspect was shot twice in the side. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti had this to say about the shooting today.
It's tough to fix these things at the end when people live with these demons on the streets, when people are out there who maybe have enough food to stay alive but don't have any housing. As far as the incident itself, I don't want to prejudge it. I think it's important. In this city, we are very resilient, and I trust that we do have independent investigation. If ever officers break the law, just like regular people, they will be held accountable. But I want to make sure that the investigation has the time to run its course, and we'll see what the consequences are.
And that is basically the tone that the police union would have liked to have heard from Chief Beck in a statement they issued. They said it is completely irresponsible for anyone, much less the chief of police, to render a judgment on an incident that is in the early stages of the investigation. So right now, the police union is not happy. Also, there are a lot of people out here who are not happy. You're looking at video from a vigil or an event earlier in the day. There was a vigil planned for 7:30 tonight. And, of course, right here at the elementary school, you have a lot of angry folks. So there's going to be a lot of mending and healing to go on here in Venice, but the investigation into that killing continues. We are live in Venice. Jory Rand, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Jory, thank you. And a chase ended in Cerritos with the suspect crashing into a pole and a fire hydrant, sending a huge geyser into the air. The vehicle crashed on the 13,200 block of Artesia Boulevard. There was a deputy-involved shooting. The driver was killed. It's still unclear why he was being chased. No deputies were hit.
Tonight, for the first time, we're hearing from the husband of a woman killed in a violent rampage on the Venice boardwalk.
And that person was my wife. It was very hard.
Christian Casadei came to California from Italy with his bride, Alicia. Their honeymoon ended in tragedy when a driver plowed into her, killing her. The driver is now on trial. The full report and more from our interview with Casadei ahead at 7:30.
Luis Sanchez, one of the 2 men convicted in the beating of Giants fan Brian Stowe, is now facing more prison time. A federal judge sentenced Sanchez to 6 years for weapons possession unrelated to the beating. He allowed the sentence to be carried out concurrently, and that means when Sanchez is released from state prison in 3 years, he'll spend 3 more years in federal prison. Co-defendant Marvin Norwood, who is also behind bars, is expected to be sentenced on the federal weapons charge later this month.
Woman is under arrest accused of breaking into Chris Brown's Agoura Hills mansion. When the singer arrived back at his house last night, 21-year-old Amira Ayeb was still there. Brown says on Instagram that the woman vandalized his home, painted her name on his cars. Ayeb has a YouTube channel of her singing. In her last post 5 days ago, she says her last name is Brown and she's in Malibu searching for her home. Ayeb is charged with burglary and felony vandalism. Her bail is set at $50,000 and she could be in court as soon as tomorrow.
Tonight, a major fraud investigation in Riverside. Police have arrested Rodolfo de Hoyos for extortion and burglary, and they say he's been threatening small businesses for years, and there could be more victims. Inland Empire reporter Leticia Waters has the story.
At Antone's Italian Food, customers are more like family. The local eatery serving the community of Riverside with no trouble for more than 50 years. That is until this past March, when the business became the alleged target of this man, Rodolfo de Hoyos.
Anytime someone's taking pictures of your business, you get a little suspicious.
Roseanne Berngart says that wasn't all. She received a notice like this one, telling her she was in violation of the American with Disabilities Act.
De Hoyos called us and said, I need $9,000 from you to make this go away.
De Hoyos has since been arrested for extortion and burglary.
Our investigation showed that De Hoyos has never been denied access into any of these locations that he identified.
According to police, De Hoyos collected upward of $140,000 in payoffs.
This individual is actually taking money that could be used to make businesses more accessible.
Investigators served a search warrant at De Hoyos' Wildemar home, a home they say did not have any handicap adaptations. Police say they did collect records pertaining to De Hoyos' operations going back several years. So far, police have identified 78 other businesses, including this gas station and tax business.
It's really appalling, and to do this on the backs of handicapped people.
The Riverside Police Department is asking anyone who believes they may have been a victim of this crime to contact them at 951-353-7118. Reporting in Riverside, Leticia Juarez, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton is in Southern California today, her first series of fundraisers in the area since her announcement. The day began with a breakfast in Westwood, then lunch in the Pacific Palisades at the home of TV producer Stephen Bochco. Tonight, she wraps up a dinner in Beverly Hills. She has no public event scheduled. Clinton, whose campaign was off to a rocky start, got a bit of relief today. The State Department says it has no plans to review donations to the Clinton Foundation that critics say created conflicts of interest while she was Secretary of State. Meantime, Republican candidates Carly Fiorina and Mike Huckabee are in Iowa rubbing elbows with voters. Fiorina at a coffee shop in Cedar Rapids, Huckabee at a restaurant in Sioux City. And then over in Baltimore, candidate Ben Carson met today with pastors and community leaders at a local church.
Up next, a man forces his way into a home and attacks a 13-year-old girl, and it's all caught on camera. What she's saying about the assault tonight.
Sounds like a movie scene. Who pulled off a $20 million jewelry heist in Cannes as stars are set to arrive for the film festival.
A Grammy-winning singer is being temporarily silenced for health reasons. I'm George Pinocchio. That's in tonight's Hollywood Wrap. Plus, Sofia Vergara gets a star on the Walk of Fame. What she had to say about the honor? Next.
Tonight, an all-out manhunt underway in Northern California. This after a man is caught on camera trailing a 13-year-old girl on her way home from school, pushing his way inside and trying to assault her. Now authorities fear he may strike again. ABC's Aditi Roy has the details.
Tonight, a sexual predator at large in Northern California. His latest attack caught on home surveillance camera. Watch as he follows this 13-year-old girl home from school, then forcing his way through the girl's front door. Police say he attempts to sexually assault her right there and then, but she fights back, pushing him away. The suspect then flees. Today, the teenager speaking out. Her family asked that we not show her face.
I was just trying to get him off of me, so I pushed him back, and at one point I slammed my flat palm into his face, and I think that's what scared him off.
After he leaves, she says she hid in the closet and texted her father, "Daddy, come home now. Some guy tried to rape me." Police say the same suspect followed a woman into a grocery store restroom last month and attempted to sexually assault her, releasing these surveillance photos from that incident.
Do you believe he'll hit again?
Without a doubt. These guys are predators.
Aditi Roy, ABC News, San Jose, California.
A reported $20 million jewelry heist just a week before the stars arrived for the Cannes Film Festival in southern France. 3 men, one was armed, robbed a Cartier store in Cannes, while a 4th accomplice waited in a getaway car. A customer and a security officer were inside, but no one was hurt. The men left with 2 bags full of jewelry. Police later found a torched, stolen Mercedes in a nearby neighborhood, which they say was used in the heist.
Well, a spring storm, and Jonathan Novak has been tracking it all afternoon. How's it looking, Jonathan?
It's looking like it's getting a little wet already out there. We're looking at Monrovia. Some raindrops already on the lens there, and we are looking at other spots too here in a moment that you'll see already seeing some rain and snow, in fact. Live Mega Doppler 7000 HD. Whew, some of you are already under the gun. Just north and northeast of Santa Barbara, right around Ojai, just north of Fillmore, showers, and the mountains, some snow already falling. Fraser Park sort of sandwiched in the middle there between a couple areas of precipitation. Now, some of the rain has already made its way over into the Antelope Valley. Lancaster, you probably had a quick shower a little while ago and then dried out. More rain to the west, moving eastward. We could see this make it over into the Antelope Valley tonight as well over the next 24 hours. This is an event that's going to be lasting through Friday into Friday afternoon. There were a couple of small cells here north of Glendora. We're going to have to watch out for some of the burn areas, potential for storms to develop over the next day. And any storms, of course, that happen over the burn areas, that's, never a good situation. That's where we would see any real problems. To the north of us, a lot of snow through the Sierra. Look at this. East of, right around Mammoth, actually, some heavier snow, and up to the north, even heavier than that. For us, yes, we do have that snow potential in the forecast. We could see 3 inches, maybe, in some of the highest elevations. Really good. This is LAX, and this is right now. We're seeing some sprinkles down at the airport. So drive safely out there tonight. It could get slick. It's going to be spotty here and there. You might see some rain, and then it's gone for a while, and it comes back. That'll be the situation over the next day. 18 miles an hour for those winds, too. It's gusty. Antelope Valley, you're going to see some wind gusts as well over the next day with this system coming in. This is a beautiful shot. I had to get this to you. Laguna Beach, just as the sun is heading down behind what will be even cloudier skies tonight. 57 also. We're all in the 50s right now. It's just going to be a cool, cold evening into tomorrow. In fact, Big Bear, tomorrow you're not going to top upper 30s maybe. Here's that area low pressure right over central California. Check that out. You see that rotation counterclockwise. That is going to be continuing to make its way to the south and the southeast, providing that lift. And you really see it. This is water vapor. You really see the rotation on water vapor. This shows you the moisture in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. And look at that. That's that area low pressure, and it's going to move right over Southern California. The time frame, let me get that to you right now in that future rainfall forecast from tonight and through tomorrow. Morning commute looks wet. We have showers on the scope around 7 a.m. Snow in the mountains, maybe some storms through the afternoon in the mountains, drifting to the south. This is noontime. A lot of that activity heading down to the south, and some of the models were showing some storms around the mountains of San Bernardino County. That could be strong, in fact, tomorrow in the early afternoon time. We'll watch out for that. By tomorrow night, it's out of here, and the weekend is a completely different story. We're looking for nice weather for the weekend, but as for the area, well, couldn't see a quarter inch of rain in some spots, maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow, 6,000 feet for that snow level, and that 7-day forecast shows after tomorrow, if you're looking for more sun, we've got it for you for Saturday and Sunday. The weekend's looking really nice, and then for next week, right now, we're looking nice as well, pleasant and dry. Valleys, i.e., you have a chance of rain. Of course, everybody's under the gun here for the next day. I would say by tomorrow, late afternoon, we're really starting to wrap things up. You're in the 80s in the valleys by Sunday. Nice. Beach forecast a little wet tomorrow. Your chances lower, though. 40% chance of showers. Saturday, Sunday, dry and sunny and mild. Mountains, 1 to 3 inches of snow, potentially, in those higher elevations. 37 for a high tomorrow. 50s for the weekend, though, and in the high desert. We already saw some rain moving through Lancaster, so you guys have that rain in the forecast, too. We have more coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Tonight's Hollywood Wrap, a Grammy-winning singer gets bad news about his voice.
So Sofia Vergara graces the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Here's George Pinocchio with all the details.
Already one of the highest-paid women in television. Now this. It's been quite a day for Sofia Vergara. Earlier today on Good Morning America, she did say she wants to move on and will no longer talk about her legal battle with her ex-fiancé over the frozen embryos they created together. Right now, she says she is just focusing on her career. And to that end, today she saw her star unveiled on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The Modern Family star was surrounded by family and friends and fans at today's ceremony, and she thanked them all.
I love you. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have these amazing fans, and the only thing that I could tell them is that I hope that they see me as an example that working hard and respecting yourself and respecting others really pays off.
Some of her TV family, Julie Bowen, Ed O'Neill, and Eric Stonestreet, were on hand to watch today's unveiling. But it was her real-life son who brought a tear to his mother's eyes when he paid tribute to his hero. 45 years ago, audiences fell in love with Ally McGraw and Ryan O'Neal in Love Story. Now they're bringing back a different story of love. Ally and Ryan are going to star in a revival of the play Love Letters. It kicks off the season at the Wallace Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts in Beverly Hills in October. Mariah Carey has officially kicked off her Las Vegas residency at Caesars Palace. Mariah's show has her singing all 18 of her #1 hit songs from 1990 to the present. She has 6 costume changes during the almost 2-hour career retrospective. Carey is scheduled to perform 3 nights a week in May and July for a total of 18 shows. The news is not good for singer Sam Smith. He'll have to undergo surgery next week for his damaged vocal cords. He made the announcement on social media. Smith has canceled all concert dates for May and June and says he has to remain silent for a few weeks after the operation. We're still waiting on official word to see if he will attend the Billboard Music Awards coming up next weekend.
That's too bad. All right, George, thank you. Up next, how the FBI helped break up a major cocaine trafficking ring being run out of a pizzeria.
Plus, all eyes on a simmering Japanese volcano. Is it ready to blow its top?
And ahead at 7:30, Tom Brady fires back while the Patriots quarterback says he is the victim of a sting operation.
Japanese authorities are closely watching a volcano near a popular hot springs, fearing it might erupt. More than 1,000 small volcanic tremors have been recorded recently, prompting officials to close the hot springs and raise the volcanic alert level from 1 to 2. That's out of 5. The mountain last experienced small eruptions back in 2001.
Italian authorities and the FBI say they have broken up a major cocaine trafficking ring allegedly being run out of a New York pizzeria. At least 13 people were arrested in pre-dawn raids in southern Italy connected to the Ndrangheta crime syndicate. 3 other Italians who ran a pizza joint in Queens were arrested back in March. Prosecutors allege the cocaine would be purchased in Costa Rica, then shipped to the East Coast, destined for sale in Italy, Spain, and Holland.
We're updating the evening's top stories next at 7:30, including the latest on our incoming storm. Plus this.
She was my future. And so that is what I love.
A grieving husband speaks out about the day his new bride's life was taken away on the Venice boardwalk.
And a group of workers at LAX sues its employer for what it calls an English-only policy on the job. We're hearing from both sides straight ahead.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 7:30 p.m. on LA56.
Top story at 7:30. Emotions run high as more than 100 people show up in Venice tonight to respond to the deadly police shooting of an unarmed homeless man. I'm David Ono.
I'm Ellen Leva in for Colleen Sullivan. This is Eyewitness News on LA56, LA's only live local newscast at 7 p.m. Activists are calling for a vigorous investigation into the death of Brendan Glenn. The 29-year-old was shot and killed late Tuesday night near Pacific and Windward Avenues. After viewing surveillance video of the shooting, LAPD Chief Charlie Beck raised questions about the need for deadly force. union that represents police officers says it is too early to suggest the shooting was improper.
The big story tonight, the incoming wet and cold storm. And take a look at this video. It was sent to us via Facebook. This is from Marta and her husband, Akram Samui. Now, that is fascinating. Those are tumbleweeds. And look at the spinning wind. He described it as like a miniature tornado.
That's a dust devil.
This is shot. That's a dust devil. This was shot from his dash cam video in his car. His car didn't get any damage, but he sent that to us, and it is fast. Here it comes again. Can you imagine sitting there and you're seeing all that stuff flying? It does kind of look like a tornado, but a lot of things going on right now. Meteorologist Jonathan Novak.
That's the way to put it. A lot of things going on. We've got snow, we've got rain, maybe the potential. Well, the potential is in there for hail with some storms over the next day or so. So a dust devil is different. A tornado it comes from the cloud. It has to actually be in contact with the ground. So if you see something like a funnel cloud, if you don't see it actually touching the ground from the cloud, then you're not talking about one. So just FYI. Okay, so we're looking at live Megadoppler 7000 HD as we get to the here and now with the showers and the snow on the scope. Look at the green on the screen here by Ojai over to Fillmore. Even a little cell right there, a little heavier rain just in the north areas of Fillmore. Fraser Park looks like you might be getting a light dusting or flurry at the moment, and some heavier snow as you head up north into the mountains, and this actually extends all the way up to the north of the Sierra. The high Sierra is seeing some heavy snow right now. Light rain around Palmdale. Lancaster saw some rain already. Nothing terribly heavy. There were a couple of small storms that look like near north of Glendora that have since fizzled over the last 20 minutes. But we are expecting some more storms potentially to develop tomorrow over the mountains, and some light rain over Lake Elsinore has since dried up. Up to the north, I mentioned some of the heavier activity, so that's going to be the case for that portion of the state. We're all going to get something here, some rain and some snow in the forecast. In fact, let me show you real quick. We do have that winter weather advisory that is in effect for the mountains from 3 a.m. to 9 p.m. as you're going through Friday into Friday night. So snow ahead for the mountains. We've got the rain ahead for the rest of the area. I'll detail the timeline for what might be a wet commute for your Friday coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. Well, you can stay on top of the weather with our free Megadoppler weather app. It puts the power of the Megadoppler in the palm of your hand. Download it for free in the App Store or Google Play. Just search all one word, Megadoppler.
It was a tragic honeymoon. Today, for the first time, the husband of the woman killed on the Venice boardwalk is speaking out publicly about the death. Eyewitness News reporter Miriam Hernandez reports.
She was my future. And so that is what I lost.
A beautiful wedding near their home in Italy. A disastrous honeymoon in California. Alice Gruppioni was killed in a horrific crash caught on video. She and her husband, Christian Casadei, had been among the throngs in the Venice boardwalk when a driver plowed through. This week, Casadei faced him for the first time, as Nathan Campbell is now on trial for murder.
I don't see him. I don't think about him.
Casadei had to testify, and he tells us it was wrenching, looking at a huge photo of Alice and telling the jury who she was.
And that person was my wife. It was very hard.
And then his first trip back to the boardwalk with Alice's aunt to see where Alice had taken her last breath. To his shock, the opening where Campbell squeezed his car onto the pedestrian walk was still open.
That day, nothing changed.
Casadei's lawyers are suing the city of Los Angeles, alleging pedestrians are not properly protected here. The city says that the opening is defended by the Americans with Disabilities Act.
And it's incredible that the car can enter and stop your life in that place.
As a widower, he tries to remember the good times. He and Alice's aunt came this week to place flowers on the boardwalk on a mission for Alice's mother. She pretends Alice is still on her honeymoon.
So she keeps on saying, I'm just here waiting that she comes back. I'm still waiting that she comes back.
The defendant, Nathan Campbell, has pleaded not guilty to all charges. The trial is expected to last another 2 to 3 weeks. Reporting from Venice, Miriam Hernandez, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Arguments are made today in a defamation lawsuit filed by 3 women who claim Bill Cosby sexually assaulted them decades ago. The women say Cosby's representatives publicly branded them liars while defending the comedian. The suit only applies to the defamation allegation and not any alleged assaults. More than a couple of dozen women have leveled assault accusations against Cosby. However, he has not been charged with any crime. And there was a community service progress report hearing for Lindsay Lohan today. The hearing stems from Lohan's 2012 car crash on Pacific Coast Highway. The actress was represented by her attorney. Lohan herself did not appear. An LA Superior Court judge ordered the actress to perform 125 hours of community service. To this point, Lohan has less than 10 hours of service, and if she misses her May 28th deadline, she could be arrested and serve some time in jail.
Tonight, superstar quarterback Tom Brady is breaking his silence about Deflategate, and his family is coming to his defense. They say it was a setup and that Brady was framed. Tonight, the text between locker room workers and the one thing inside that 243-page report that Brady's supporters want you to see. ABC's Ryan Smith reports.
He's one of football's most famous quarterbacks, the toast of the NFL. Tom Brady, a four-time Super Bowl champ, married to a supermodel with a picture-perfect family. But tonight, facing the fallout of Deflategate, speaking at Salem State University about the scandal.
Has this, however, detracted from your joy of winning the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not.
The scandal at the AFC Championship game against the Indianapolis Colts. The NFL allegedly received an email from the Colts general manager expressing concern about the game ball's air pressure. His agent on the offensive, attacking the NFL itself, alleging it likely conducted a sting operation against Brady and the Patriots, an issue he says is buried in a footnote on page 46. Quote, what does it say about the league when it allows one team to tip it off to an issue and no league officials or game officials notified the Patriots? But the report states there was no sting, no change in inspection protocols. The report implicating Brady is more likely than not aware of deflated balls, quoting text messages from an annoyed locker room attendant to a Patriots equipment assistant. Tom sucks. I'm going to make the next ball an expletive balloon, even threatening to overinflate the ball if he doesn't receive gifts in kind, saying better be surrounded by cash and new kicks. Still, Brady's father, Tom Brady Sr., coming to his son's defense in an interview with USA Today, saying, this was Framegate right from the beginning, and I don't have any doubt about my son's integrity.
When asked about his reaction to the NFL Deflategate report, Tom Brady said he didn't have one, hasn't had a chance to fully digest it, but when he does, he'll be sure to let us know how he feels.
And that was ABC's Ryan Smith reporting.
The National Security Agency, in its bulk collection of American phone records, has exceeded its authority. That was a ruling today by the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on a lawsuit brought by the American Civil Liberties Union. Despite that decision, the judge says they will permit the NSA program to continue temporarily until new laws are made that better define the agency's boundaries. And that means the debate now heads to Congress, which will have to decide whether to authorize the status quo or modify the program.
Undercover investigation of a local gas station that underpaid a winning lottery ticket winner by almost $75,000. It's complete now. At the Chevron on North Sierra Highway in Palmdale, the clerk paid an undercover agent $75 instead of the $75,000 due. Lottery said today, while the investigation found inconsistencies, it is satisfied it was just a lack of training on the clerk's part. The lottery reminds customers to ask for the validation receipt, which shows exactly how much they won.
Some employees who provide catering and cleaning service to airlines are suing their employer. They claim they have to speak only English at work or they could lose their jobs. And Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia has the story.
Me dieron un warning por hablar español.
Maria Martinez is part of a group of Gate Gourmet employees suing their employer with the help of the Mexican-American Legal Defense and Educational Fund.
14 brave plaintiffs have stepped up to challenge their employer for trampling all over their basic civil rights.
They accuse Gate Gourmet, which provides catering and cleaning services to airlines, of implementing an English-only language policy while at work. And Gate Gourmet has threatened to replace them if they don't speak English while on the job.
Language restriction is illegal. The business would have to show certain exceptions that we allege that Gate Gourmet cannot satisfy.
I went to the Gate Gourmet facility located next to LAX. Management there said I needed to contact their corporate office in Virginia for comment. A spokesperson there denied the company has any English-only policy and released this statement. Gate Gourmet does not have an English-only rule. We onboard, train, and communicate with our diverse workforce in multiple languages and certainly in both English and Spanish in Los Angeles. We ensure that our people receive the information they need, including all policies and procedures in either English or Spanish. Gate Gourmet takes pride in our diverse workplace and in our ability to integrate non-English speakers into our workforce. At LAX, Sid Garcia, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Up next, an emotional cold case more than a decade old is heating up.
But tonight there is new hope. The man accused in the death of an 8-month-old child can be caught.
And later, is this the future of farming in California? You won't believe what they're raising here. The trial of the man charged with killing his 4-year-old daughter moved to the scene of her death today. A jury spent much of the day in the Abalone Cove and Portuguese Bend areas of Rancho Palos Verdes. 53-year-old Cameron Brown is accused of killing Lauren Serene Key in 2000. She plunged to her death from a cliff. 2 juries have already deadlocked on the decision. If convicted, Brown could face life in prison without parole.
Honoring the lives of LAPD officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Today, family members of fallen officers were joined by members of the community at the LAPD headquarters to remember and honor those killed in the line of duty. Police Chief Charlie Beck led a full delegation of department officials and city leaders. The program included a procession of bagpipers, a riderless horse, and a roll call of the names of the fallen officers. An emotional cold case more than a decade old is heating up. There's new hope that the man accused in the death of an 8-month-old child could be caught. Eyewitness News Orange County reporter Greg Lee talked exclusively to the child's family and detectives.
Memories of September 15, 2004 still haunt Mari Lee Alvidio.
She left the residence to run errands, leaving the baby in the care of Hernandez.
She entrusted her boyfriend, Ismael Hernandez, also known as Jorge Delgado, to look after her 8-month-old baby boy, Eric. She left them alone at their home in Santa Ana for several hours. When Mari Lee came home to this apartment complex, her boyfriend told her the baby was asleep and shouldn't be disturbed. She found out hours later the baby was dead and her boyfriend wasn't coming back.
I felt despair for the baby and guilty for leaving him.
Paramedics rushed baby Eric to this hospital, but he died from his injuries.
Head trauma, sustained some broken ribs, and also a torn heart.
Officers began a manhunt for Hernandez, wanted for murder, but he had disappeared. With no clues and no signs of their suspect, the case went cold. Until recently, when Detective Gus Morioki and the Orange County Homicide Task Force began digging. New information leads officers to believe Hernandez is running free in the U.S. They want the public's help to find him and bring some peace to a grieving mother.
Wherever you are, we will find you. Eventually we will find you, and you will pay for what you did.
If you have any information on Hernandez's whereabouts, you're asked to call the Orange County Homicide Task Force at 866-673-2574 or visit the website OCHTF.org. Reporting in Santa Ana, Greg Lee, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Wild weather moving in. Meteorologist Jonathan Novak has his complete forecast up next.
And the Dodgers flex their home run muscles as they wrap up a 4-game series against the Brewers in Milwaukee. Enjoying a spring storm. It's very nice. We didn't expect this. Let's go to Jonathan Novak right now.
Snow and May. It's May.
Yeah.
What's going on? Live Megalopolis 7000 HD. Checking out some lightning strikes here. It's on the loop mode right there. If you can catch those just north of Santa Barbara from a couple hours ago. So yeah, the storm activity, that's in there for the forecast. This is the leading edge of the action, if you will, for tonight and through tomorrow, and the rain moving from west to east. A little bit of heavier activity just to the north and east of Fillmore, and that could head towards Santa Clarita, where you're probably getting some light rain at least right now. Some snow up around Frazier Park, and then already some heavier rain down around Long Beach. This is right around Lancaster area where you saw some light rain in the Antelope Valley a little while ago. You'll probably have more of that coming in here shortly. Looks like a little cell right there just offshore around Malibu, and this stretches off to the east now towards Southgate, just north of Compton. So this is overall not tremendously heavy rainfall, and it's very spotty in nature, and that's going to be the case as we go through the next day. A lot of sort of hit-and-miss shower activity, a couple of storms potentially over the mountain areas, maybe drifting south tomorrow. And in the meantime, if you're not seeing rain, you're seeing clouds for sure and some windy conditions. This is Burbank a little earlier. Nice time-lapse there showing just a blanket over the valley area. And this is Long Beach now. This is a current image. I want to show you. I don't know if you can make that out. Looks like some of those showers that we saw down around the coast. You can kind of make that out right there. That shield of shower activity there. LAX is 57 degrees. Saw some rain there just a little while ago. And I'm told we have, where's that, Carper? Air 7, we have Culver City. Right now, this is a live image here we're looking at. Thanks for that. Looks like, I'm not seeing any rain there right now. You catching any rain there? I don't see any drops there now. But we did see some shower activity around the south of the Long Beach area. And to the north of it, maybe a little bit later as the more activity comes in. And there I can see that now. Now I can make it out. Thank you. I knew you were showing me for some reason. Okay, there we go. Let's head to the map. Thanks. Wind advisory for the Antelope Valley that's in effect, and a winter weather advisory, and that goes through Friday 3 a.m. to 9 p.m. for the mountain areas for 1 to 3 inches of snow, because we could see that snowfall from 6,000 feet or above, which is pretty low, of course, and especially when you're talking about Maytime weather. This is that low right here. Let me bring it to the timeline for tomorrow. Looks like a wet commute at the very least for tomorrow in the morning time. Not so much for the afternoon, at least right now. This is 7 a.m. in through the late morning. This is noon. All that shower activity, maybe some storms and snow for sure in the mountains through the afternoon. Now, by 11 p.m., it's out of the area, and we're seeing that energy move out, and we have a nice weekend ahead. Let me show you that here in that 7-day forecast coming up here. It's actually after this graphic here. 1 to 3 inches is what's forecasted ahead for those mountain areas. Okay, here we go. Now let's get into it. 7-day forecast for LA Metro and Orange County, powered up by AccuWeather. After we get through tomorrow, the weekend's looking good. 69 to 73 for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, and dry. Valleys, IE, you have a good chance of rain, maybe 1/4 to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall. Temperatures only topping out at 62. By Sunday, you're into the 80s. The beach forecast looks good. 62 tomorrow and a chance of rain, but it's on the lower end, 40%. And then the weekend is nice and pleasant. The mountains, 1 to 3 inches of snow over the next day, and then 37 for a high tomorrow. That's it. And then you're into the 60s by Sunday. The high desert, you've got winds ahead, some showers, cooler weather, and into the 80s by Sunday. We're watching it, watching the scope, and Air 7's out there too.
It is.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jonathan. Clippers left Houston with a split, and tomorrow night they face the Rockets in Game 3 at Staples Center. Doc Rivers said today injured point guard Chris Paul is working out, and his recovery is going well, but still no decision on whether he'll play tomorrow night. And if you love watching free throws last night, you had to enjoy last night's game because there were 96 of them. The Rockets hit 42 of 64. The Clippers made 25 of 32. Blake Griffin and Matt Barnes talked about whether the free throw discrepancy may have played a part in the Clippers' 115-109 defeat.
But you're not going to win many games when the other team shoots 64 free throws and they make more free throws than we even attempted.
You know, shoot 64 free throws and we shoot 30-something, and we have, 20 more foul calls? Like I said this morning, you know, if they let us play, it'll be a good game. If they're on the line all night, it's going to be tough for us.
Barnes received a technical in the first quarter when he fouled James Harden and then bumped him afterwards. The Clippers say that they're aware of reports Barnes may have insulted Harden's mom, who had seats under the basket.
I didn't get a chance to talk to James's mother about it or anything. I just, from what I heard, you know, they're just, you know, that's just not right. I mean, look, I came from an era where everybody talked smack and there was a lot of stuff going on, but not like that.
She's been great ever since I've known James, been in the NBA. She always talks to me, nothing negative, but she's like, you better not block my baby shot. You know, she's great. I love her. I was definitely friendly. I feel like she's just like my mom in a sense. You know, she wants her son to win, just like my mom wants us to win, and it's always fun to have friendly competition like that.
Rookie of the month in April.
Baseball now, Dodgers and Brewers. LA trailed 1-0 in the second, but Alex Guerrero ties the game with his 6th homer of the season. Dodgers weren't on 4G power, they were on 3G. First Guerrero, and then leading 7-3 in the 8th, it's Yasmani Grandal hit a 3-run blast to the right field corner, 10-3 Dodgers. And then in the 9th, Grandal once again with 2 on, and that is deep in the opposite field, just clearing the wall for another 3-run shot. Grandal went 4 for 4 with 8 RBIs. Dodgers blow out the Brew Crew with 14-4.
First urban cricket farm is opening in Van Nuys. Crickets are touted as a good source of protein, but will Americans have the appetite for the edible bugs? Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes talked with the farmer, hoping the crickets will become the next food craze.
Crickets are the soundtrack for summertime. But is their song also the sound of a dinner bell?
America's ready for it.
Really? To eat house crickets? Raised in these climate-controlled nylon tents, tucked away in an industrial park in Van Nuys?
You know, it just tastes like
chicken.
Yeah, chicken. Yeah. No, it tastes just like powdered nuts, really.
The three 25-year-olds behind Koalo Valley Farms are banking on Americans shifting to insects for their protein. Their crickets processed into a fine powder that can be added to many recipes.
You can put it in shakes, pasta, pizza crust, smoothies, protein bars.
You can eat the whole crickets as well, but let's take baby steps, and we'll start with the powder first.
An estimated 2 billion people around the world eat bugs on a regular basis. And these guys say in water-starved California, relying on crickets instead of cattle can save huge amounts of water.
A pound of beef from a cow takes 1,700 gallons of water. Here it's only 1 gallon.
Koalo Valley Farms has a 7,000-foot facility, but they're only really using this corner over here. And even though they started out with just about 40,000 crickets, it's not going to stay 40,000 very long.
You get about 1.2 to 1.5 million crickets per 6 weeks. We've got enough square footage to raise about 3.5 million.
The cricket guys hope to be officially up and running in a few weeks. It all depends on their Kickstarter campaign launching on Monday. If all goes as planned, wait for it.
This place will be hopping.
In Van Nuys, Rob Hayes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, so you tasted them. What do you think?
I think it's okay.
Yeah?
You should taste it now.
If they're covered in chocolate, maybe I would do that.
I mean, they're not crawling around when you eat them.
I don't want to see little legs or anything like that.
No, you won't.
All right, we'll be right back. Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 7:30 on LA56. Law and Order SVU's next.
Take a look at this. At 4:05 in Culver City, it's raining. See you at 11.
This is ABC7 weather.
Hey folks, Jonathan Novak here. Area low pressure right here, easy to spot, moving over California, and that's going to continue to bring showers, a wet commute, maybe some storms through the day, snow in the mountains. Here's the forecast as we go through Friday morning. That shower activity around the area. This is actually right around 7 a.m. right here, and you see snow in the mountains.